and welcome to this week's Sunday Catchup podcast. How are you and how has your week been? I really hope it's been a good one. And I just want to say before I start a huge thank you for listening to my podcast. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you have had a really great week, because it's really blur out there, isn't it? You just have to watch the news, which I don't like to watch. You just have to watch the news. You have to see what's going on in the world, and it's just if we focus on what we read, it's horrid. And everybody that I've spoken to has been going through really terrible difficulties. And I just think that we just need to find our tribe, our community that uplifts us in this terrible time that we're finding ourselves in, and just know that there is light. And if we can just keep raising our vibration, working through our stuff, the world will become a better place. And there are leaders out there that have just lost their minds at the moment, and I think that we just have to find the blessings where we can find them and choose where we can make a difference. I really believe that, and it is making those choices of where we can make that difference. And Will and I are always chatting about through stuff. We're questioning each other all the time, looking at our narrative, what we're saying, what we're putting out into the world. And it is constant and it changes daily. And it's just a lot. There really is a lot. And I always come back to when I catch myself overthinking, over reading the news, feeling that negativity, knowing that there's just a lot going on, I always remember to come back to centre, to come back into the now. And so wherever and whatever's going on for you right now, I hope that you can find some space within yourself to come back home to you, to come back to that centre, to come back to the peace that you are, to the joy, to the calm, and know that that is enough, and that in this moment right now, all is well. Because I don't know about you, but as soon as I start using words like that, and I start coming back into my body wisdom, I immediately feel better. And I have, this last day or two, I've been overthinking things. Some stuff has been coming up in my subconscious, and just like wants to keep me small, and the old beliefs are playing for me, and I'm not cool. I'm not good enough to be doing this podcast. I'm not good enough to be doing the work that I absolutely love. And I've got this inner voice that's just popped up, and I'm like, okay, thank you for reminding me of those things, and I can choose to listen to them, or I can choose to rewrite the narrative. And so sometimes it just takes a while. Sometimes we have to experience that, go down that rabbit hole for a bit, and then we kind of have to pull ourselves out and going, is this really working for me? And so this is where my head is at the minute. It's like, do I carry on with these podcasts? Do I stop them? Do I video them? Whatever. And you know what? It doesn't really matter, does it? It's like, loosen up, Carolina, lighten up. If I want to do the podcast, do the podcast. If I'm making a difference, I'm making a difference. If I'm not making a difference, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. Do what we enjoy doing. I need to eat some of my own words. I need to practice, and I need to practice what I talk about. And I'm just kind of in this funny, funny shift going on. And I think we're all from the people that I've spoken to, we're all going through this funny shift, but actually just need to not take myself so seriously, just lighten up, and it just comes back to doing what brings us joy. And that's it. It really is, isn't it? It's what brings us joy. And this is something I was writing about in a blog. And again, I had this voice going, it's not good enough. Why are you writing this? No one's going to read it. Blah, 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 blah. It's so boring. And you're like, how many years have I had this like narrative going on in my mind that all this and I'm proud with myself that I work on myself and that I clear myself on a regular basis, and I go to therapy, and I and I saw myself out. But yeah, it's exhausting and draining, having this like inner dialogue going on the whole time. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the podcast this week. And I've written my notes, and I can't wait to share with you with what I've been doing. And of course now I'm missing the family because we've had such an amazing, beautiful time. And then I think I spend too much time just like, I don't know. It's just the subconscious, honestly. But we welcome it, because when it comes up, we can clear it. And so I'm telling myself, and I'm sharing this with you, because this is a real life process going on right in front of you. Back to truth, back to authenticity, and it's back to clearing. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, subconscious, for giving me this negative stuff that's been stored away, that's come from somewhere, and it's coming out so I can clear it. And so this is where I'm at the minute. I've had the most amazing week. It's been awesome. It really has. And I started off this podcast not realising that I was going to say all what I just said, and I just have kind of blurted it all out. But I genuinely want to thank you. Thank you for showing up, for listening to this. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing it. I've started getting a bit nervous and a bit anxious by doing it, because there's some attachment to it. And I always find when I have an attachment to something, it kind of stops working. And for me, why I started this podcast was because I really enjoy doing it. And when I start doing it like I am now, I'm like, oh, I actually really enjoy doing this. And so it's very interesting. And so I'm just sharing my thoughts with you, just being really real, just being really honest with you. And, but so yeah, thank you. That's where we started. So the other thing I want to say as well is that I wonder whether to video this moving forward, because I would do it with the voice note, because like I'm sitting here, I've got my pajamas on, I'm taking my makeup off, my hair's scruffy, and I don't always feel like I look the part to do the podcast. And so very often you see all these podcasts, don't you? And they're all glammed, and they're all mic'd, and they're all lighting is perfect and everything else. And so I've kind of shied away from doing it to camera. But I'm just wondering whether to kind of challenge myself, because I enjoy challenging myself, to do it in front of camera and just do it very naturally and see how that comes across. I'll have a think. You can imagine how my mind is going now. Oh, little subconscious, how do you feel about that? What does my little ego have to say about that? I'm not going to give it room to talk to me right now, because I'm just going to keep on talking on this podcast, and we'll see where we go. It's easy to pick my phone up with the voice record, I have to say, but I'm really thinking maybe I will do it to camera. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can do that quite easily. Maybe I'll see how I get on. It'll be really cool, because wherever I am, I can do it. So we'll see. Anyway, how was your week? What's your been learnt? What's your like, what have you, like, what are you realising? What's been your awakening? Or have you just got on with your week and not really thought about it? Or what have you, what new have you, what something new have you found out about yourself? Like for me this week, I've so enjoyed being with the family, and I've had such an amazing time with Arlo, new addition to the family. He's absolutely gorgeous. And I could talk to you about him all podcast because he is just so adorable. And I know people told me this, that being a grandparent, it's totally different. And it really is. It is so different to motherhood. And you just, for me, this last week, it's like, it's been a joy. Like I said to Amelia, I said a couple of things. I said to her, I felt bliss in my life, and I often feel blissful, but holding a baby is just like bliss. Like it's just incredible. It is so amazing. And he started smiling, and it melts your heart. It's just lovely. This week we've been in the Cotswolds, and we continued our trip, and it was just wonderful. It so was. So if you listened to my podcast last week, you know that we were in the Cotswolds, and we were in the Cotswolds with the family. So we were there with Amelia and Freddie and the baby, and then Matt and Harriet came and joined us at the weekend. So on Monday, the boys went off mountain biking. So Freddie and Matt went off for a day's mountain biking. So that left Amelia and Harriet, Will I Can, and myself and Arlo, and we took ourselves off to Stow-on-the-Wold. Have you ever been there? Oh, the Cotswolds is so picturesque. It's so beautiful. And we had a little mooch around the town, and we got ourselves a nice like coffee, and I think we had I can't remember what we did, whether we'd had breakfast, because my dad always made us, when we visited in Somerset or Ireland where they lived, pancakes, American pancakes. And this trip, Will made us pancakes, American pancakes for breakfast. Oh my goodness me. Needless to say, we've come back home and I'm back healthy eating because we have a wedding in June. So I need to get into shape for the wedding. But anyway, it was amazing. So Will often cooked us breakfast when we were away. He fed us all, looked after us. And it was so nice to have these fluffy American pancakes again. It was lovely. So I can't remember what we ate, but it doesn't matter. We just had a nice mooch. It was really nice. The boys were happy off doing their biking, and they had an amazing time because they went off and had the place to themselves. And I don't really understand what they did other than they hired some bikes, and then they went down a course and went down a hill, and then they got a van, took them back up, and then they did it again. And they had an absolute ball. We had an absolute ball. And we went into this really great shop there, a little boutique that was selling the jackets that we sell in our shop from Jaipur. And they're like handmade, embroidered jackets. And they were double the price that we sell them for. Beautiful jackets, really nice. And anyway, I bought myself a bag from there, which was lovely. And I really want us to make some of those because they're absolutely beautiful. And anyway, we got chatting to the owner, and she was so cool. She made her own silver jewellery, and she was really lovely. And we just got like talking about Chinese astrology that I've been talking to you about, we're leaving the year of the snake and we're going into the year of the horse. And she said, I had only had this conversation the other day with someone else, and we were talking about what the year of the snake's been for us, and it was just so out of the blue and so magical, and just we really like connected, and it was so nice. That was totally out of the blue. So yeah, that was lovely. And Arlo is adorable, and just holding him, and just the smiles and just the gurgles, and he's 8 weeks old, so he's really going. And this week he really like changed so much over the week. And so that was really fun. And then when the boys got back, we got back. I think Will cooked dinner that night, and then we played games. And that was really fun. We've got this game called Brandy Dog. It's absolutely brilliant. So really good fun. So that was fun. I think we played that night. And then again on Tuesday we had this, Matt's mum, Claire, she sent us this walk from, where was it from? Bourton on Water, which is wonderful, to through Slaughters. It was a circular walk. It's a 5.4-mile walk. And so we did that. And it's so nice. It was so good. The weather was great for us until the very end, and then it just started pouring down. But we passed Hawkstone Brewery, which was fun. We passed, I don't know if you watch Clarkson's Farm, which has got Jeremy Clarkson owns a farm, and it's all about his like world on the farm. I think there's about 3 or 4 series. But it's really fun. It's no, it's not on Netflix, it's on Amazon. And he was going to buy a pub called the Coach and Horses, and we passed that as well. And then, so it was great. We got very wet. Luckily, Will had bought an umbrella, and he got very wet because we gave that to Freddie and Amelia to protect Arlo, because he was in the, what do they call them, papoose thing. But we didn't know it was going to rain. So that was that. Anyway, it was a wonderful walk. We all enjoyed it. We all had great fun. And then we played games again. And I think we played a game that Freddie wanted to play. And it was about, it was a fun game, but it was just trying to get your head. Anyway, we belly laughed so much. Don't you just love it when you belly laugh? And it was a game where you had like, you had a word, and you had to be the most convincing of it meaning fake. So there was one that was something like a titty something. I can't remember what it was. And then then one of you had the truth, and then everyone else had to convince everyone else that your definition, and you had to make it up, was the truth. And then you score points and stuff. It was just really funny. You probably had to be there and play the game for it to be funny, but because Will made us laugh, because the first round he didn't really have a clue what was going on, like none of us did, but he'd got the wrong end of the stick, and he said, and I'm telling you the truth, that I have the truthful card. It was just really funny, because of course it was just funny. So that was fun. It's good to have those times. I love it. I just remember we were going to play Traitors as well, because that's been amazing, hasn't it? Have you been enjoying that? We've been loving that. Anyway, what else? Then on Wednesday, Harriet and Matt sadly left. They needed to get home, but Harriet came back in the evening, which was nice. And so in the day, that left Freddie, Amelia, Arlo, Will and I. And so we walked to somewhere called Guyting. We walked there last week, and we went to the old post office there, and of course we got cake and coffee. I think all kind of revolves around food. Whenever we go away, walking, food and everything else. It was so nice. We walked across fields, and we saw lots of different wildlife, and it was wonderful. It was so nice, and Arlo loves being outdoors, and he fell fast asleep, and we had a really nice time. It's just so nice to catch up with family. It really was. And then in the evening we played Brandy Dog again. So yeah, it was nice. Just nice to get fresh air. It was just really lovely. And then on the Thursday, and then Harriet came back in the evening, and we went to the pub. We had a pub opposite our Airbnb, and we went for a lovely meal, and it was really good. Just wholesome food. It was a wholesome week. It really was. And then on Thursday, we just chilled at home because it was pouring down with rain. So we really just didn't fancy going out. But we booked a table at Jeremy Clarkson's pub. It's now open, and we went for a meal, which was nice. And we had a lovely time. Again, we went to the tent, and it was really nice. So lucky, and really glad that Harriet came back so that we could all go together. We miss Matt. but he had to go back to work. So one of us has to work. And then on Friday, it was time to come home. And that was the end of our trip. It seemed to go so slowly, but also seemed to go so quick. And Arlo was so good, being newborn. Yeah, he cried a few times, but it's their only way of communicating, isn't it? And I was chief nappy changer, and I did get a lot of cuddles in, and he fell asleep on me, and I'd get up first thing in the morning and get myself ready. Then the times I was lucky enough to have Arlo, just to give Amelia and Freddie some time off, and Will thoroughly looked after everybody, and it was really great. And on the way home we went to Byberry, which is another really cool place in the Cotswolds, really picturesque, really old, absolutely beautiful, and we had a great time. So it was nice. And then we got home. It took us a little while to get home because we were, I don't know, we couldn't get us, it doesn't matter. I won't bore you with the story, but basically we're having problems. We always wanted CarPlay. We can't seem to get the CarPlay maps all in the right direction. And so anyway, it took us ages to get home. But we got home, and that was the main thing. And then on Saturday, by fluke, and I don't quite know how it happened, but we were really grateful and really appreciative. And we went and saw Amelia and Arlo. Freddie had gone out, and we went round and we spent the afternoon with Amelia and the baby again. So we were well lucky. And I did all the washing. You know how there's always so much washing to do after you've been away. So that was our week. It was the most wholesome week. It was the most wholesome trip. I really felt, and I know Will did as well, really like topped up, really felt so wholesome. So it's just so nice that we were so lucky that the girls could join us and the boys could join us for a trip away, and it was so unexpected. We for years have gone away at this time of the year, away for 1 or 2 months if we're lucky enough. And this year, because of the baby, and we wanted to be around to be there for Amelia with the baby, and we've got the wedding coming up, we thought we would stay put. And we're going to do less travelling this year. We're going to do little trips and things. We've got our road trip to do, but we're going to do a lot more travelling next year, and I can't wait to share what we're going to do with you over the course of the year, because it's very, very exciting. So what else happened today? So yesterday was, talked about yesterday, and then today it was Nicola, our friend's birthday. We went round to see them, and Will was, Scott is transforming Nicola's room that she uses, like her office, dressing room, room, and Will went round to help him with some lights around that. And so the boys enjoyed doing that in the morning, and Nicola, birthday girl, we went to Horsham and we had a little mooch with the pups. Rodney, well, they're not puppies anymore, but they're adorable little Dutch hounds, and Rodney and Larry, we walked around, got a coffee, walked round Horsham, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I haven't been since I was like 15 and completely had forgotten what it was like. It's pedestrianised, really seemed real. It was a really nice destination, really nice town, and we had a really lovely time. And then when the boys finished, we went back into Horsham for another mooch to show Will, had some breakfast. We're treated to breakfast, which was really nice. And Will I Can's got a new name, thanks to Scott. It's Will I Can, Will's the man. I like that, Scott. That was good. Will I Can, Will's the man. So there we go. It was such a lovely week. And when we got home, I was so inspired that, do you remember I was talking to you, was it last week or the week before? I was talking to you about a room that needed to be cleared out, and we did that. Also, yes, achieved it. An hour and a half when we got home. Good job. Really feels good to do that. And I think the takeaways for me this week are spending time with the family is just incredible. That what's important in life is the connections we make, making a difference where we can, and coming from a cup that's overflowing and giving from a cup that's overflowing. And so therefore then how important it is that we fill our own cup up so that it can then naturally overflow into others. So we are not taking anything away from the giving. So we're just giving naturally. So these were my takeaways. My new website is looking fantastic and I'm so pleased with that. And as I kind of started off saying, I am in that dilemma. I've been doing this podcast weekly without fail for nearly 2 years now in March, April. So do I carry on with it? Do I stop it? Do I video it? Do I move it from weekly to fortnightly? Any ideas? Let me know. Would really appreciate your feedback. I really hope you're enjoying it. I hope you have the best week ahead. I hope that I managed to clear some of this stuff that keeps coming up, and keep positive. And I think that it's really interesting because as I've been recording this podcast, I've been feeling really like great. And then when I just then started just talking about that, overthinking all the rest of it, I can feel it in my body. The energy just drops. So we have to be careful what we say to each other, what we say to ourselves, and to acknowledge those thoughts, but to actually have some good affirmations that keep us centered, keep us tracked, and get on top of those thoughts that can be so intrusive. Welcome them, but yet clear them and not believe them. And yeah, literally not make them mean anything. They're only thoughts at the end of the day. And depending on how much energy we give them is depending on whether that shows up as a reality. Isn't that the truth? So give the positive, empowering thoughts more energy than the negative ones. There we go. End of podcast. Have a great week. Look forward to catching up with you next week. And as I say, do give me that feedback. I will continue to ponder and we'll see where we end up. And let me ask you a question. What project do you want to complete? If you're already doing a project, what do you want to complete? But what do you want to create this year? What project? What do you want to happen for this year? And if you want some help, if you want some guidance, if you want to do something a bit different, don't forget you can always do my 21 days. It's really good. The feedback I've been getting is great. And people are really enjoying doing it. So anyway, there we go. Let's just stop for a minute. Let's just pause and take a breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Letting go of anything that's not serving you. Letting go of some of those like loops, those mind loops. Like stepping off that like merry-go-round. Just coming back to centre, coming back to breath. Knowing all is well in this moment. It really is. And in this moment. And in this moment. Connecting back to your body wisdom. Take care, big love, and have an awesome week. Bye. That's my week wrapped up. What stood out, what shifted, and what I'm taking forward. Now it's over to you. What moments shaped your week? What inspired you? Let's keep the conversation going. Come and connect with me on @thesoulcoach or YouTube and let me know your thoughts. If this episode spoke to you, feel free to share it, tag me, or send it to someone who might enjoy it too. See you next week for another reflection. But until then, take care, stay present, and keep journeying within.